Now, since we are about to wrap up National Small Business Week, we are turning to someone who can tell us how to create a business that runs without you.
Well, because let's face it, today's small business owners are putting in way too many hours and working sometimes every day of the week. So let's check in with Frank Bria to find out how not to be trapped by your own business. Frank, thank you so much for being here.
That's my pleasure.
Really looking forward to talking to you because I know a lot of small businesses have a hard time growing their business more than just, a one-person employee.
That's right.
Tell us why that is.
Well, what happens is that as we get started in our business, we feel like the only thing we can sell is our own personal skill. So it's very easy to start getting those initial jobs where it's really us, we're selling our time. We don't even think about what's going to happen when we're successful, and that we need to make a plan for what happens when I run out of that time.
That makes sense. And I know in your book and a lot of what you talk about is how to have a scalable business. What does that mean?
Yeah, a scalable business means that when you take on that next customer, it doesn't take any more of your time. So either we're doing that by handling clients in groups, so that I can add somebody to the group and it doesn't really change anything, or I have to productize what I do so that I can train people, so that I bring other people into my business, so that when we add a new customer, there's a plan for handling them that doesn't mean I have to do more work.
That makes sense. I love that, and that's brilliant. But are there certain companies that scale better than others?
Absolutely. In fact, the very first thing that I teach people when they create a scalable business is to create a scalable concept. And that means that not all businesses are scalable. We have to think very carefully about what that plan will be for that next customer. Will I be able to train somebody, or am I sort of making it up every single time a new customer comes in the door? This is often the case with consulting businesses. We have to be really careful in a consulting business that we're not just selling our time, selling our skill set, but we actually are solving a problem that's repeatable, and that the next time a customer comes in the door, we know exactly what to do.
So if I'm a business owner right now, how do I know if I'm that business owner that I need to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So what we want to do is think very carefully about the plan for handling that next customer. So I teach service business owners especially to create a process, a repeatable process to handle every single customer. So we know what step one is, we know when we're done, and we have very clear definitions as to how to move from one step to the next. If we've got that plan in place, that means either I can productize it and handle lots of people together, or I can train other people to help take customers through that process. That's what we're looking for in a scalable business.
Brilliant. So once we decide we are a scalable business, your book is actually going to help us by giving us 4 keys to scale. So will you go through those for us?
Absolutely. So the first key we've already talked about, and that's having a scalable concept. That means we need to be very clear that we have some way to be focused on the key value proposition we're delivering. Then we need to have a business model that pays us what we're worth. That means moving beyond a business where we're just selling our hours, where we're selling a value proposition. Then we need to move into understanding how to take advantage of a market that's moving. I like to call it yoking a driving market. They're already moving. It's like cattle moving through. You just want to be there with that stampede, make sure that you're able to take advantage of that energy, and then stop doing the things that are keeping you from having that free time. Find other people that can do that for you, train them, and get them to take your place.
And I like that we're talking a lot about hiring somebody, training somebody to kind of do things. But how is it when I'm a business owner? When do I know it's time for me to start hiring people?
That's a great question. So the planning starts on day one. When we start a business, we need to think, even though it's just me, and even though I don't have any money to hire a huge staff, I need to develop what an organization chart will look like. Who will be doing these certain things? Even if it's me doing them all today, I want to have room to bring people in. The time is right when you start thinking, should I be bringing someone in to take care of this? Am I running out of time? In my experience, when you start thinking about it, you really should act on it.
That's a perfect indication. If you're thinking about it, it's time to act on it. And I know your book has so much more that we can dive into this, but I'm going to let everybody know how they can get a hold of those. So I want to thank you so much for coming today. This was so enlightening today.
Thank you.
I'm sure, Heather, you found a lot of great things.
I'm over here taking notes, Frank. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome. Now, to learn more about Frank Bria's keys to success and for a free service business roadmap, visit frankbria.com/roadmap.